welcome. This week is the 13th through the 19th of July, which means a couple things. It means July is about half over. It means August is almost here. It means my birthday is next week. It means hot weather this week, but cooler weather next week. Yeah. So, I think that's about it. You will hear possibly some boat noises, car noises, and some bird noises. I have my vents open, but I have the windows shut. It's absolutely amazing out there today, and it's a little warmer, like 26 is the high, but the breeze moved in, and so it's kind of a constant, gentle breeze, which makes it like perfect down to like 24, which is, what's the equivalent? Around 77, 75, 70, well, about 77, I think. It's hard because I'll show you here. I'll just cover that. I have 3 apps here that are showing the weather, but they're all a little off. Like, they're not duplicates, so I'm just trying to see, like, this is Apple Weather, AccuWeather, and the local actual app here in the Netherlands for their weather. So I'm trying to see what the equivalents are. So if you hear me say it's about this, it's about this. So this week, my last video, I released playing with Sterling ink layouts was about animals. So I thought to carry that theme along, I really enjoyed creating that persona of myself. It was really fun. It's almost like, as I mentioned in the video, I did have connection to animals earlier on, but I also feel like it's come back up as a dream. I don't think I'm going to pursue it at all, but it's something that reinvigorated when I was watching some online videos of watching sanctuaries care for little babies since the spring is when they come out. I thought I would kind of just carry these in. I know sometimes this can be kind of a fall theme. I'm just going to pick like 1 or 2 things here and there, kind of create my own thing with this as well. I'm also using my trusty 990, but also using the yellow from last week. So it's just kind of like these golden tones. So I'm not going to use too much of the blue. I do want to use the owl because that was featured, and the hedgehog from here, I think. There are just boats going up and down the canal here. And this last week, whenever there's hot weather, I get irritated. I just don't handle it well. I wear the lightest fabrics I can and try to, shut down our apartment here. I try to capture all the cold air and try to modulate a little bit here. But I also have to remind myself it's temporary and that this week may be warm. I think we're going to get to 30, which is like just a bit out of my comfort zone. It's like the mid 80s, and I prefer mid 70s. Like right now, mid 70s. That's right where we're at. I'm good with that. Because you can go around and like be doing chores and maybe sit in front of the fan for a minute or 2. But like the past couple days, we got groceries in, we got the stuff, and then I had to sit in the fan for like an hour just to cool down. It wasn't too hot the last 2 days, but it's just it's the humidity is down. So I'll take that. I'm trying to think like how I want to put these on here. So I got started with like the stuff I usually cut away for, so hopefully I don't have to cut away. I have my infusion. So that's the other thing I really wanted to talk about. My infusion is at 10 tomorrow. I'll just do that. And I have been trying to practice taking the week off. Now, I've been kind of here and there not doing as much work because the heat is kind of hard to concentrate. I can do, client meetings because I know they're like temporary and I can be present for them. And usually they're in the evenings too. So it's kind of like starting to cool down. But I really like last quarter focused on it and it helped so much. But like this is kind of putting it to the test of, because my husband's working, fortunately my son is not in school. I'm trying to think if those have overlapped yet. School and, when was that? Okay. I'm trying to remember now. So my last one was May 18th. And yeah, he had just started working. So I think that's what inspired this whole thing is that I'm sorry, I'm going slow here, but there's a lot of feelings kind of coming up. It's giving myself permission to slow down. It's kind of like, as I talked about previously, if this was a lower point in my cycle, which actually it happens to be, I would say right now I'm experiencing the only PMS symptoms that I experience. The one thing I just do not experience are cramps anymore because those parts are gone. So I have to say that's what would be debilitating for at least 24 hours. Like it's not just, a few hours one day. It was like a full 24 hours. Sometimes I don't think it would go to 36 too often, but it would be like, if I'm starting cramps around noon one day, it's like, well, the rest of that day's, so it could be like 2 days off work, right? It's enough that it really affects a long time. So looking at this, I'm going to go tomorrow morning, come home and be tired. I'll probably take a nap, because this isn't too early. It's not like I have to be there at 8 a.m., but it'll be nice to go in the morning when it's cooler, and I'll probably be home by like noon. It's like an hour and a half at the most now. It's so nice. My goodness. I was doing like 4-hour ones. And it's these subsequent days that, Tuesday would be kind of hard and Thursday, Friday. It's like the first day after is just like a lot. But then like the last time it was kind of constant through these days, and then I would perk up by the weekend. So we're just going to go with that info, right? You can only go with your latest info and be open to this time. It might be a little different. So I'm not scheduling in a bunch of recording. I do think I will record my joy journal possibly today and just get that done and have just kind of a recording week off, go a little introspective. It's my podcast I've been having trouble like keeping up with because there's like, what do I actually talk about? I talked about grief in my last one, processing it, and there are some more subjects that I want to do coming out, and sometimes that's something I can sit and do for, within the hour of like recording it and kind of editing it. So those may be the two things I focus. That's what I did last time is I focused on getting a joy journal out, one of these out. I probably will do this next weekend or down here. It doesn't matter. So anyway, that's the preliminary of everything. Let's do some highlights, and I do want to focus on these stickers first because there are definitely sunny days ahead. So I kind of want, this is the more subtle one. I think I'll do that across here. And then to highlight certain areas here, I think I want to do that, like the yellow here. As those are areas to look at, and then do, you think I would line them all up on that side. It doesn't matter. Like that. And then, where's my yellow? I was like getting a little confused there. And then have yellow here. I could do every other, but I don't know if I want to. It's going to make it more busy, but it would bring in, my concern is like, I want to bring some of the tan over here. So I think I'm going to try it. Since I'm not going to be putting tons of decor, we're just going to go with it here. And it's messy. I am not staying within the lines. And that's a lesson unto itself, right? You're allowed to leave the lines. There we go. Okay, and then get my bag. Where are my tweezers? There we go. And let's see. I feel like having that in the middle. So yeah, I'm just been a little low energy due to where I am in my cycle, doing low energy because of the heat. I do want to save some for here too, so that's important. Which color do I want to put on top? Probably the 990 across the top. I feel like this, well, the other thing is our town is very sleepy right now. And I think a lot of people left for, my husband had a good possibility why, was that the Netherlands was in the World Cup for a while and they lost, so they are out. And he's like, maybe a lot of people just left after that, you know, because they can kind of on a whim just, you know, okay, we're going to go somewhere else. And that's what it kind of feels like. Today, I am filming on the same day I'm releasing this because reasons, but I'm kind of wondering if like it's just so much more quieter out there. There's people out there, but it's like usually I see many people walking like right now along this road, and I see there was just one moped going by, but and it's not super hot. It's like really beautiful out there. It's like the perfect weather to go out. So I don't know. But I kind of also am thinking back to, whoa, I thought it was stuck down and it wasn't. Okay, we're gonna do that. If you think about like from childhood, and I wonder if everyone has these memories of like the lazy, hazy days of summer, right? Everyone talks about them, but does everyone have a connotation to them? I mean, not if you're in a constantly cooler climate. So let's see. First I was thinking about doing this squirrel because there's a big part of the story that I cover squirrels. See, and that tonally matches. The rest I might keep because I do want to keep some stuff for fall. And there was no chipmunks or rabbits in there. So yeah, I just wanted to grab that squirrel because this one here is actually a chipmunk. But there was an owl. Let's see. I kind of want to put the owl right here in the middle. No, I think I'll do this here. And the hedgehog here. So yeah, there is a little bit of blue here, but the rest matches. And the story also involves a bat, and I thought, well, could I pick a bird for the bat? No, that's okay. I will link that episode? I guess it's kind of an episode. These are not episodes. These co-playing with me's are like if you want to do some mirroring and get your planning done for the week, I am here for you. But the Sterling Ink project is a little bit more episodic because there's just no time that I'm actually putting them out. They're like when it's done, and it's a creative thing. So squirrels, it was Pip, Hazel, and I envisioned having like the names just around. Like that, where it kind of goes around the animal there. Where is my blotter? That is not it, but I can use it. I had it right here, but I also have a pile of things here. Whoops. So, and then here I named them Nettle and Nettle and Bramble. And then this was Fletcher. Like that. Yeah, it just feels good to kind of carry those stories over. And that's exactly how I kind of wanted them in here. So, yeah, that worked. And then here, I want to put 10 to about noon. And then some transport time. And then I was going to have a chiropractic here, and whenever I've done that, I've regretted it. I just don't. I sleep weird, and I kind of like, I don't know. I always feel like I'm not in a good spot when I go in, and it does feel good to have the work done, but then I'm like, but if I come the week after, I've done that too, and it goes so much better. I'm sure there's like some muscle tensing and relaxing, but it's kind of like I need my body to go through that process and not try to fight it when my muscles are more tense. Yeah, that's just what I've learned. So what other appointments do we have? It might be like not much. I'm hoping it's not much. So yeah, this adjustment is gone. Let me delete that. And I have my infusion on there. Oh, there's an IKEA delivery. Oh, I may have to, oh, I'll probably be home. I thought that was going to be Tuesday, so that's okay. What is this? Oh, I need to, sorry, I'm looking at a bill. I don't see anything else though, which is good. So there is a event this weekend, but we'll see. I don't think that's happening. There's a Magic the Gathering event here in Amsterdam this weekend, but I don't see us going to that. It was just on our schedule. Okay, so I'm trying to think if there's going to be much else. Oh, we'll put mom school here. So I did have one day last week where I just felt bad, but we did 3 other days. This day was, my son was feeling bad, I felt bad, so we just counted those as like get extra rest. So yeah, I worked on some Dutch. I'm kind of writing my Dutch part here, the ABCs, vowels, sentence structure, so still very basic. And then some of the stuff I'm going over with him and kind of keeping track of that way. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. I am going to report back on how this next week goes because, yeah, being my second time with planning days off, so I don't actually have that marked here, which is interesting. So I'm kind of looking at stuff here, which is interesting. So in my other book, I marked out, I think I put it on this side here, and then my one in September, just want to make sure I get the right. I'm trying to remember what that, oh, that's school starting the 7th. Let's make sure it doesn't go in too farther. Yeah, I think it's important because it may be a little bit more work related, but I need to note that in here, that that's happening. I don't know where my blotter is. We're gonna just do that. Okay, so, and those were when I was waking up every day, because when you're not on a schedule and you're relaxing a bit, that's what you do. And when the cooler temps are at night, then you stay up later. And that's me normalizing it. You know, I've always felt guilty about it because my parents were morning people. They just were. My sister was kind of in the middle. She was never a late out, you know, hasn't been a night owl. All 3 of us here are. We just are. And yeah, when it's, you know, cooler in the evening and you can think better, and some of the people I'm working with are in the US, it's like, well, then it's probably better to try to work when they need me and work when I'm available, that kind of thing. So yeah, if a client meeting pops up, it's okay. I can do that. But, oh, and I did have a client meeting I forgot to put on here Friday. There. Just want to make sure I make note of it. So Anything else? I'll put the meals across here. I wrote them here. And then I just plug them in. Oh, that's what is the other thing. So I have been using this, things are falling, for the last week. Let's see. Again, this is kind of plain. There's nothing decorating anything. So this was the first week I was using it. I pretty much put everything in our pantry. This time I put stuff I wanted to use up. We actually did use these. And oh, we did use those. And these are the next ones. So when I went to, and then I just put meals up here, kind of like this list. So it's kind of the opposite. It's like, these are the ones I'm crossing off. These are the ones I'm putting into each day. Whereas this is kind of the ones that I have. And then they could be in any order. And then I just cross them off as, I rarely put X's through things, but this works because it tells me that's not available anymore. And it's not a date thing. It doesn't correspond to the date. I could put some whiteout at the top. You know, I'm just thinking, like, what would that look like? And this whiteout works pretty well. I don't know if I'd want to do that every time. That helps. That definitely helps. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to move on to another week here. So that's kind of, yeah, how I used it. I was like, well, if I need to see stuff in my pantry, I can go back to that week. And here I didn't X out anything, but I did use this as like, this is what we were actually doing in the week. And then having this as kind of a dashboard. So it's working, I have to say. So as I'm starting this week, what's kind of helping is, I would do exactly this. I would just put, the only thing that it's not helping yet, and I think I'm just gonna have to have it be a digital thing. Let me get these written out or else. Because these are definitely not in the right order. Because the ones at the end here, I'm going to be cooking first. But because they have more fresh items. But like, let's go ahead and take these off then. Is the ingredients. So I did the best of my ability of getting all the ingredients, but this is where I struggle a bit, is I'll forget just like one thing. And I feel like either we have it already, or I remember it from a different week, or I feel, yeah, like we're stocked up on it. We didn't need to get more of it. And then we're like, oh no, we used that for a different. So say, for instance, chicken. I was going through here and going, okay, we need chicken for the tacos. Absolutely. And then I thought we needed chicken for the pasta salad and chicken for the gnocchi. And then I'm like, we only have 2 chickens, 2 packages of chicken. And I'm like, what happened? So I realized, oh, the pasta salad does not have chicken in it. I got halloumi for it. And so it's like that kind of thing where you're like, where do the ingredients go? Maybe I got 1 can of coconut milk and I needed 2, that kind of stuff. It's like, no, I remember getting coconut milk, but I didn't get as many as I needed. And I go back over that list and try to think of all the ingredients, but I don't have the recipes right in front of me because the recipes are digital, and I'd have to have it open on my computer and my phone and just try to like, but I'm also, that's why I'm kind of relying on the grocery store app recipes a bit more, because the recipe's right there and they add all the items, and you can uncheck the stuff that you know you have. Sometimes I uncheck things, or I would rather have 2 of something than 0 of something. So, but we also have a very limited pantry. So, and that's why I've been trying to go through and use up pantry items. So like here we had, I don't think I wrote them down, but we had garbanzo beans, and I'm like, let's use those up because they're just sitting there. And it's nice to have a staple, but we're not going to make a whole meal out of garbanzo beans to feed our family, but they can be an ingredient. So I found this pasta salad to use them. And so once we have the pasta salad, those will be gone and not something that I'm kind of constantly looking at to use up. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. That's why I wanted to put all the ingredients here, but maybe I'm doing this the wrong way. Because I think if I put this all here with the ingredients, I'm just realizing that now, these don't have to be in order. I can white this out on the side and I put in, and then it matches this so that the top matches the top. It's definitely something, I think that's what I'll do. So I won't do this on camera, but I'm not going to worry too much about the dates being whited out. So this next week, I know what I need to do is white out this side and do the top. And then that'll match that. I can just match those so I know what day of the week that feels more natural. And I think it's because I am constantly thinking about the paper tests daily. I love this layout so much where there's dailies in here, this little pocket daily. But this right here was just like, it's kind of like what I need. Like I need lined here and then just have those across the side there, across the top. So I'll use it the old way this week or the new way. I don't know. I might as well just start because it does make more sense. Because then I can list out the meals with the ingredients, then I can check, and I can do that as I'm putting the order together. That's the part that I'm struggling with, is like, as I'm putting that order together, what little things do I need? Can I run to the store? Can my son run to the store? Can my husband run to the store? Yes. But I'm just trying to get everything that I can. So that's a good realization to have on camera, that, you know, and that's the thing. That's why I'm not making this a huge deal, that, you know, I'm just playing around with it. So yeah, no, I think that's really interesting. I also think, you know, I have a whole half year that I didn't use yet, and I'm thinking about reusing these as it goes into the next year, and just, I know the dates will be slightly off, but it's just something that I'm trying to rough out and try to, and I love the feel of this so much. It still feels a little empty, like I could put a little bit more in there, but I still love it. So I'm just glad I'm using it. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Anything else? I think that's it. Yeah, go check out my Sterling ink. If you have a Sterling ink, sometimes it helps to see, you know, totally different layouts. And that's the thing. I get so stuck in, like, I feel like this layout just forces me to do this. That's why I'm kind of wondering about something else next year. But I'll always have a vertical. I always want that. So, but doing the Sterling ink project has let me like just do like whatever layouts I want, just playing around, and it's really fun. I have to say, that's been really good. So yeah, check out my description for that. And until next time, if you enjoyed this, please consider liking it on the way out. Consider subscribing if you want to hang out. And yeah, it's an awesome community here, and I will see you next time. Bye.